Welcome to Table Talk here at the Philadelphia Sports Table Podcast Show, the longest running weekly Philly sports podcast show in the world, 12 years strong. We got a great discussion coming your way this week on Table Talk, coming to us from Coca-Cola Park, the Lehigh Valley IronPigs, the AAA affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got their CEO and president, Kurt Landis. Kurt, buddy, how you doing, man?
Good, Jeff. Happy as a pig in mud. How's that for happy?
Fantastic. I got to tell you right now, buddy, I was just recently at an event in which we're going to get to at Coca-Cola Park. There was some exciting news that was unveiled. And I just got to tell you, man, the IronPigs are such an incredible part of our Lehigh Valley community. For folks who may be new to listening to the podcast, I do live in the Lehigh Valley, which is about an hour and a half north of Philadelphia. And going to the IronPigs games, going to Coca-Cola Park, it is an amazing experience, which we're certainly going to be getting into on this podcast show, and also a reflection of this 2025 season as things wrap up for the Pigs. But Kurt, before we really start getting into like what this season was about for the IronPigs, I really wanted to just kind of dive into who you all have been here in this community. I mean, you're a staple here in the Lehigh Valley. So for those who may be new to listening to the podcast here, how have the IronPigs, the AAA affiliate for the Philadelphia Phillies, how did you guys come to be? And what's your overall impact been here in the Lehigh Valley?
That's a short question. There's a long answer, but I'll try to keep it brief.
Yep.
We've been here for 18 years now, Jeff. Originally we were a franchise in Ottawa, Canada. Purchased a franchise with the intent to move to the Lehigh Valley. We were able to switch the affiliation from Scranton, which had the Phillies affiliation, to the Lehigh Valley. So we've been a Phillies affiliate since day one, since our move to Allentown, PA. And quite simply, it's just been a love affair between the team and the community. We've had tremendous partnerships that start with Lehigh County, which is our landlord, of course, but through all the municipalities and the entire community. Of course, the Philadelphia Phillies have been a tremendous partner. The business community has supported us significantly, and that's allowed us to keep our ticket prices low, our food and beverage prices low. And when you have that environment, fans come out, and when fans come out, the businesses continue to support. So it's kind of a nice cycle. And over time, we've developed a reputation for being edgy and unique and fun and goofy with our promotions. So I always tell fans, I think we are a AAA team with a single A mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, like you were talking about, and like I mentioned earlier, you've been such a staple in the community that, sometimes, and it never ceases to amaze me as somebody who follows what the IronPigs do on an annual basis, and just the community partnerships that are really quite incredible. Like you said, to keep this baseball team and what you all do so very relevant to our Lehigh Valley community in general. And I recently had the privilege of being at a press conference where the IronPigs unveiled, along with another important community partner in ArtsQuest up here in our area, the Festers Night jerseys and hats that are going to be commemorating America's 250th anniversary next year in 2026, and just all the celebrations and commemorations that are going to be happening next year in Pennsylvania and within our Lehigh Valley community with regard to America 250. So first off, I kind of have a two-part question for you, but first off, how did this entire initiative really come to be?
Cassie Hilgert, who is the CEO for ArtsQuest, and I served together on a committee called Lehigh Valley 250. And, Cassie, with the Steel Stacks and ArtsQuest and Music Fest and the IronPigs here at Coca-Cola Park, I think we recognize we're probably two of the larger foundational landmark facilities across the valley. And it'd be neat for us to tie together and work together. So we came up with a really nice branding campaign to recognize 10 years of collaboration with Festers Night, in addition to really a Lehigh Valley 250 theme that both art organizations will adapt and showcase throughout the entirety of the 2026 season. So I think inherently that theme will be something not just our organizations adapt, but something I believe the entire Lehigh Valley will adapt in terms of a branded artwork that we can be proud of and showcase throughout the entire season. So it's been amazing. We announced that on September 17th, and already people have been going nuts for merchandise, hats. It's such a unique, monumental anniversary that people want to be a part of it, and people want to have a souvenir already, or to wear a souvenir, to have that throughout the 2026 season. So it's going to be a fun, unique year, and it's great to partner with another community based nonprofit organization that cares a lot about the community.
Absolutely. And I think the one thing the Iron Pigs have been so good about doing, whether it's your front offices there in terms of the outreach, and not just in the Lehigh Valley, but even beyond as well. And I think that's what the whether Lehigh Valley 250, PA 250, America 250, all these initiatives kind of are wrapped around each other to really gauge what is happening in our local communities. So I guess to follow up too, what does this initiative really mean for you and for the Iron Pigs as we commemorate America's 250th anniversary next year, in terms of just not just folks here in the Lehigh Valley, but really gathering people from outside the community to say, come here, attend a baseball game, feel the togetherness of what America 250 really is. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I think we have a responsibility as the baseball team that's Americana.
Yeah.
Responsibility as a large community stalwart to to take the lead on the initiative. But it's not just about selling caps and merchandise and having some game themes. I think we take leadership in trying to showcase this region and the unity that comes from celebrating such a unique patriotic event like the 250th anniversary. So it's a chance for a country to kind of come together and take a look at where we've been, but take a look at where we're going. And there's a lot going on. We have a series of events next year, so it's not just wearing the uniforms, but we're going to host a drone show and our largest fireworks show in the history of Coca-Cola Park.
Awesome.
Another opportunity to bring people together besides baseball. And I think when you're sitting next to someone and you're celebrating 250 years, it's hard not to have these great feelings of patriotism. And regardless of who's sitting beside you and where we come from and what our background is, hopefully you can kind of take a big picture view, take a deep breath, and go, we made it through 250. And there's a lot of things wrong in the world. There's a lot of things right, though, as well.
Yeah.
And we can focus on the right more than the wrong, hopefully.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, before we get to our first break, I did want to ask you, Kurt, just about what this season really has meant, not just to the Pigs, but with regard to minor league baseball as well, because if I'm correct here, I don't believe any other minor league affiliate has had as much attendance as the Iron Pigs have had in 2025, and during also the first 18 years of existence. Am I correct in that? And in what are some of those numbers, if I am? And I don't know, can you top it next year as well?
Well, the season just ended yesterday, and you're already asking me to top it. There's a pressure. There's a pressure that we welcome because we've been fortunate in our 17 years of baseball. We had 18 because of COVID, but only 17 seasons.
Yeah.
In those 17 seasons, we finished first 9 times, including the last 3 in a row. So, and just what you were alluding to was a couple of weeks ago, we hosted our 10 millionth fan, and no other minor league baseball team has been to 10 million as fast as our organization
It's incredible.
has. So we average, Jeff, more than 8,500 people here per game, which is amazing because we only have 8,300 fixed seats in the ballpark. So
Yeah.
on an average night, there are 200 people here on the lawn, on the blanket, or standing room. The support has just been amazing. And there's so many reasons for that. We talked about that briefly before, but the fan base is amazing. And we focus so much on guest service, entertainment, the fan experience that goes from food to the ballpark to fireworks and community initiatives like the 250. There's so much that goes into it, but we're very blessed. We ended this year at 585,000 fans,
Man.
for the year, and that
Wow.
easily outpaced the number two team. So there's teams like Indianapolis, Columbus, Ohio, Buffalo, Sacramento, Charlotte, Jacksonville, NFL size markets that we are beating handily when it comes to attendance. And it's a magic carpet ride that we never want to end.
Well, I guess, I guess what needs to happen in the future here, Kurt, is just, building onto the stadium, right? I mean, we need an additional 5,000 seats there at Coca-Cola Park, right?
It's funny because I'm not sure about additional capacity, but you have to change
Yeah.
all the time to stay
Yeah.
relevant. And you can't just sit here and say we've been successful. And a couple of years ago, we finished on some additions to the ballpark, but they're so focused on the Phillies players because we had to make improvements in order to stay relevant, to stay a minor league team,
Oh,
to
there were
have the
mandates. Yep.
right to
Yep.
have the right to host the Phillies. You have to have the right player, I guess restrooms and locker rooms and
Certain
weight room
food.
and correct.
Yes.
So I'm anxious. I'm hopeful here in the next 2 or 3 years that we can really start to add fan amenities because Coca-Cola Park is a tremendous, tremendous ballpark, but we're always looking to make it better.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, folks, we are going to take a break here to pay some bills. But when we get back, we got more Iron Pigs talk with our good buddy Kurt Landis, CEO and president of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Stick with us. All right, we are back, folks. And again, talking to Kurt Landis from the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. He is running the show over there. And Kurt, I wanted to dive into something you mentioned right before we went to break, and that is the fact that the Iron Pigs had their 10 millionth fan in early September. That was celebrated. That was commemorated. It was all over the news here in our Lehigh Valley region. What was that celebration like? Because as you mentioned, just monumental in so many different ways. And it meant so much, not just to that particular individual, but to the community as a whole. I mean, what was that celebration like?
In the moment, you're so focused on celebrating the woman that won and surprising her, and she was just overjoyed. She won
Yeah.
season tickets and gift cards to tons of places all over the valley, businesses that helped us celebrate the moment. But as you walked away from it, and that night, and in the press release that followed, it was really kind of emotional. There are so many factors that have played into our success. And we've talked about a few of those already today, but our ownership has given myself and our team the ability to invest in the ballpark when we've needed to, the ability to be fun and goofy and that relevance about being able to laugh at yourself and having a dead form of your mascot, a strip of bacon on your hat, and
Right.
how does that look? And to do a funeral giveaway and all these different fun, goofy promotions that we've
Yeah.
done over the years that create this sense of if I'm not here at Coca-Cola Park, I'm missing out. And so that leads to the attendance success. And so our ownership has been tremendous with Joe Finley and Craig Stein, but our staff, from day one, we try to create a culture where all ideas are welcome, where guest service is critical, where everyone stops to pick up the trash if they see it. You have to take a pride in what we do, and so you walk away from that moment of 10 million. It's amazing to think back truly on the number of people that have helped make us successful.
I don't mean to sound hokey when I say this, but the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs and Coca-Cola Park was a place where I was able to come together with not only one of our listeners here at the PST Podcast Show, but somebody who's been a contributor here on this podcast as well, having the opportunity to actually meet with him face to face, meet his kids, walk around the ballpark, further connecting our relationship and just further connecting on a level where we're watching baseball, enjoying the atmosphere. That happened to me. And yes, my buddy Josh and I and his kids, we were the 9 millionth whatever before that moment. But the Iron Pigs allowed us then to come together in that moment for that game, meeting face to face. It was quite a special moment. And yes, could we have gone someplace else to do that? Absolutely. But we chose the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs and Coca-Cola Park specifically for a reason, and it's because of the amazing atmosphere and just the semblance of community. So as we're moving along here, I just wanted to throw that out there to people.
Yeah.
But as we're moving along, I always ask you every time you come on. You're so great to come on, Kurt, about the awesome food at Coca-Cola Park. Whenever you jump on the show, it's just such a huge part of the experience at the ballpark. What were some of the most popular foods at the ballpark this year? Do you have a list or anything you can run down
Well,
with us here?
well, I eat way too much of it, more than I should. Jeff, you talked about the attendance and the food. There's so many things that go into the ballpark that make the experience what it is. But we focus on creating memories, and you're right, food is a part of the memory here. I mean, the when you come here, it's a 9 inning vacation, and you're
Yep.
ready to kind of divulge into different food items. If it's the half pound uh, maple candied bacon on a stick, which
Oh,
is very
yes.
popular now. Aw Shucks, which is also a music fest novelty. You see people walking around the ballpark with seasoned roasted ears of corn. Inherently, people still just love the ballpark hot dog, peanuts, popcorn, an ice
Yep.
cold beer. But it's neat. You can have a jandal turkey,
Yes.
something local, or the Aw
Nice
Shucks
turkey
roasted
leg.
corn.
Yep.
We have a variety of these local microbrews that people really enjoy. So inherently, I think from a food standpoint, there's something for everybody. A friend of mine loves the pork and chips, the barbecue pork with
Yep.
nacho cheese, and there's very few things that we don't have here along the mindset of pork.
Right.
But
Exactly.
the pulled pork parfait, but I think people forget this is the largest restaurant in the Lehigh Valley, and
Yeah.
we do catering for individual groups where it's a very very high level type of menu, and then we can produce 5,000 hot dogs on $1 hot dog on a Tuesday night in July. So
Yeah.
it's a very difficult thing to manage, to have such a large restaurant and to be able to serve that many items cold or hot and on time. And
Yeah.
it's part of behind the scenes that people don't think about.
Absolutely. Again, folks, if you have not had an opportunity to get to the Lehigh Valley IronPigs Coca-Cola Park facility, you have to in 2026 for sure. So, as we're wrapping up things here, want to know what we can look forward to from the IronPigs in 2026. Kurt, you mentioned the drone show, which is going to be great. Huge fireworks spectacular as well. What other things do y'all have planned for 2026?
Sure. Well, we're putting together our promotions schedule right now, and there's going to be some of the great ones that come back, from Star Wars night to Harry Potter night. Of course, probably somewhere between 25 to 30 fireworks nights that are extremely popular. But the fun ones are the ones that really um, involve charity. At the same time, there are great promotions that you can put on a different uniform on the team, and
Yeah.
that's unique and fun. So I can't tip my hand too much to that. But we had a very successful initial duck night, Jeff, at the
Oh,
ballpark,
yes. Yep.
and we had the proceeds from that go to our friends at the Pediatric Cancer Foundation of the Lehigh Valley. I think that will grow next year, where we really want to support their efforts together with one of our partners at Lehigh Valley Health Network slash Jefferson. So for us, this is the fun part of the year where we've been planning already, but we'll probably go to our staff retreat next week, brainstorm some of the final ideas for promotions calendar, and then we're all in. And one thing we haven't talked about, in about a week and a half, we'll start decorating the entirety of the ballpark for our Winter Lights Fest. We call it
Yes.
Illumination. And
Yes.
Illumination drew last year, Jeff, about 70,000 people. So even though we talk about the off season, it's the off season from the IronPigs. But from our staff perspective and from the ballpark, there's something here literally every month. And so
Yeah.
we'll kick off the Lights Festival on November 14th. It'll run through January 3rd, and we'll have now 1.5 million lights, which is by far the largest holiday light show in the region, all set to music with all these activities and
Yep.
features. So it's an exciting piece of what we do now.
It was an amazing event last year, the kickoff for Illumination folks at Coca-Cola Park. My family and I were there. We got some s'mores, roasted them over the fires there, and it was a great time. It was great time to be with family and other folks from the community. So that said, He's Kurt Landis, folks, president and CEO of the Lehigh Valley IronPigs. Kurt, buddy, it was so great talking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to jump on the Philadelphia Sports Table podcast show. Come back, join us. Love to talk to you in more detail about what y'all are doing at the IronPigs in the future.
Great. Always my pleasure, Jeff. Thanks for having me.